Ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com proudly presents The Rope Break, coming to you live with the crew here of Wrestle AM. First of all, you got yours truly, sexiest man on all Internet. Take two, the sexiest man on all Internet Wrestling Radio. Boom, boom, here, shaking the room, live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. Of course, join me there down in the dirty South, talking about the bald bull himself, Sammy Sinister, and of course our special guest, well, not so special, but he is a guest from Loudmouth Wrestling, talking about LK. What's up, buddy?
If you're going to treat me like this, we'll have enough of this. A special guest to the hearts of the internet infantry, so it's very special. Hello, everyone. Hope you ain't dead. Rey Mysterio, still be alive, buddy. Love you, beautiful.
Oh, God. We cannot kick off this thing talking about a Rey Mysterio fucking segment. Like, mind you could make an entire YouTube clip show just based off of our between like the Rey Mysterio chants whenever LK loses his mind about something, and every time I decide to get real sexy. Like, that is its own show in its own right.
Yeah, and guys, if you're out there in infantry, if you're wondering why we're doing this here, with LK's departure to bigger and better things, and Sammy and myself having big boy jobs, and Dave about to come back on the interwebs sooner rather than later. It's a little difficult for us to review things. So we decided, we're going to kind of take a step back here. We're going to do a little bit of a roundtable. We're going to talk about the hottest topics going on in professional wrestling right now. And so we're just going to do a little test run. We call it The Rope Break because, it's wrestling. All right, guys. So ready to start this bad boy off? I just got done. Well, I'm almost completely done watching Impact Wrestling, and I don't know if y'all happened to catch that last week, but that was such a bad show. This week,
what? I heard that you. Sorry to cut off there. I heard that you were very nasty about Impact because the rumors do spill down to my end of the country.
Was that the first episode of like the new generation or whatever it is?
Yeah, this was under the new management, new everything. I spent almost a complete hour just running the show down from top to bottom. Now, I will say this week, from what I have seen, I saw about 2/3 of the show. I got to go back and watch maybe the last 30 minutes or so, but what I saw was not bad. It wasn't great, but it was a step up. Now, granted, that's not saying much considering last week was like one of the worst fucking shows I've ever seen in my life.
That bad?
Oh yeah, it was one of the absolute worst.
I don't think it really was that bad. Like, when you actually think about it, this was a complete reboot. You had a storyline with the tag titles now in the Decay. You had the X Division actually have a fucking match and a good one. You had the stop to all that Ali bullshit and Maria bullshit. You put the stop to the Hardy stuff. You had controversy in the world title scene, which I'm guessing gets cleared up tonight. I didn't see, I understood that it wasn't going to be a fucking awesome show because this is planting the seeds for the future episodes to be great. So I was kind of a bit lenient on it.
I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I will give this a watch tonight or in the next day or two. Mm-hmm. And when we come back around next week, I will be the tiebreaker between these two grumpy old sods. And I'll let you know if it was. I have the world's oldest man in internet radio, and then I have the world's youngest man, or the world's oldest soul and the world's youngest man on internet wrestling radio. And I'm just the grumpiest man. So I will let y'all know exactly how it feels. And I will be that tiebreaker. And I will go into this watching it as if this is a brand new thing. Forget the fact that TNA exists. I'm going to watch this as the first ever inaugural episode of Impact Wrestling.
Yeah,
I think that's where it helped me anyway.
This week.
Start this week?
No, but then he won't understand the story because they did a complete reboot last week. So really, you really have to watch 2 weeks worth, hasn't he? Really?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to watch last week and let y'all know if it was good or bad. I'll watch both of them and let you know. How about that?
Okay, because I can sum it up. I mean, to even give that show any kind of praise, I mean, you're stretching. I mean, you're hitting like guy who doesn't lie on YouTube for views levels of fucking
If you finish that sentence, so help me God, I will get in a plane right now without shoes. I will sit on that plane. I will read a magazine. I will get off that plane. I will get a tortilla. I will eat said tortilla. I will go. I will buy flip-flops. I will put on said flip-flops. I will get in a cab. I will get mad that the cab costs so much money. I will tell them where you live. I will ride in that cab till I get to where you live. I will knock on your door. When I knock on your door, you will open it. I will piss on everything that you love because I am drinking 9 gallons of water on that fucking flight. And after you're sitting there crying, going, why, God, why? Why do you piss on everything that I love? I will turn to you and say, you know what you did. And I will walk my ass back home.
So anyway, I'm saying I just kind of disagree with OK's assessment because I felt like it was very piss poor because to me, just the bickering between Josh Matthews and Jeremy Borash completely killed the show. It was so full of plot holes. Now this week was much better. There was a few plot holes here and there, and I don't know if I want to give them away just yet because I want to kind of give everybody a chance, but give everybody a chance to watch the show. I will say this show was much better, and if you're going to start with the show, please start with this one. Because I would not wish last week on my worst enemy. That's how bad it was.
The thing is that you have to remember that as like a lot of people's first time, they were imagining that this would be a lot of people's first time, so they kind of had to conclude all the stories that were leading up to it, even though they just wanted to start new stories themselves. I found they were in a tricky spot, and the show, like I'm not saying the show was good. I'm saying I wasn't as critical because I understood it was the complete reboot, knew everything. I like Dutch Mantel going out there.
But you you can do that, but you don't do that by being so petty and name dropping. That's all they did last week. They went, hey, this was us when we first started. Hey, look how good it was. Here's a bunch of names of people who are not here anymore. Geez, I wonder where they're at. Oh, yeah, they're over with the other guys. Here's some people that we pulled over from the other guys. They're over here. They're cool. They've been in the business for a fucking decade. Oh, yeah, we're better than WWE. Okay. Oh, and then Josh Matthews and Jeremy Borash start bickering.
Oh, he needs to go.
And Elijah Burke's like, guys,
I do
can we call a wrestling match in the fucking ring right now?
Let's hope the rumors are true, even if they aren't 100% true. If they can get JR, that's going to be huge. I think that'll be as big, if not bigger, than any of the actual wrestling talent that they've got right now.
I would just like to see Josh Matthews drug out of the impact zone and taken to the back and given a swift beating.
Yeah, he's pretty bad. But like I said, I'll give it a view, and we'll kind of let it know. However, how would y'all feel about Raw this week? Y'all tell me. And I can almost guarantee I know how LK feels, but how'd y'all feel about Raw?
I was just really agnostic to it. I just read the results on it.
And that's kind of how I was. It was for building up to Mania, and there are some parts of Raw that I think they're doing a really good job building up to Mania. And I'm really excited about some parts. And it's not that I think the show is terrible by any means. It's just it's boring to watch. It is really boring to watch.
Yeah, sadly, this is par for the course for WWE because you would think, they've got their biggest event of the year coming up in just a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We're about roughly 3 weeks out from their biggest event of the year. You would think they want to hype it up. They want to keep building this momentum. And by the time we get to Mania, we've hit this fever pitch, we're white hot, we're ready to go, and instead they just put everything in cruise control. I think they put more emphasis and more effort in Fastlane than they did the build-up now going to Mania.
And that's kind of been the case for the last 2, maybe even 3 years. And we're kind of going into Mania like, oh, God damn it. And I know a lot of people shat on last year. I really liked it. And the year before that, everyone shat on it. It ended up being a great show. Did LK dip?
Yeah, okay, kind of dipped there. I don't know. Is it message me? Let me see if he's messaging me. Nope, he has not messaged me, so I don't know. Maybe he's having internet troubles, but the show must go on.
Okay, and maybe there's some weird reverse psychology where they're trying to bore us into being excited for Mania. I don't know. And some of the rumors that are coming out of Mania, I am just not excited about. I think putting 2 part-timers in the Universal title scene is just the fucking worst idea that you could possibly have. And you know, I'm a positive PD. I'm the positive PD of our group most of the time, but this is a bad idea, as is putting Shane McMahon with fucking AJ Styles. That to me is such a waste of AJ. We'll save that. We'll save that when we start talking about fucking SmackDown. But okay, there's our boy. There he is. We were wondering where you ran off to. How do you feel
the
about
internet? It just Raw. Oh my. Right. So. Right. You guys don't know. Right. So this is how my show, the Loudmouth Wrestling Show, works. The Loudmouth Wrestling YouTube channel will feature New Japan. In the middle of reviewing every single. I'm literally up to date on every single New Japan Cup show. One up to date. I've done loads of New Japan shows that I want to watch, like Impact, Ring of Honor, Impact to an extent, New Japan. All these shows I want to watch. And then I have another thing which was brought to me for Loudmouth Wrestling Extra, which is, do you remember LKVIP, Sammy?
Yeah.
It's like that. It's pretty much ran exactly the same way. But the thing for me was, what will people want to see that I don't cover? And I was thinking to myself, you know what? I hate WWE pretty much. Charge for it. And I tell you what, I'm obviously I won't give out my numbers, but I'm actually shocked and humbled by the subs that I'm getting for that. And so my Raw, I feel bad giving it, but for you guys, I'll give my opinion on Raw. I haven't cut off, have I? No, cool.
No, you're good.
I'm just checking because the internet. Because normally when I do it with you guys, I used to have my picture go big on the screen, but because I'm not actually part of the on the YouTube channel, I'm on my YouTube channel. It's kind of weird, but anyway. With Raw, the dusty finishes are really fucking me off. Like 5 out of 6 matches ended either via a roll up with pulling of the tights, a disqualification, a count out, and bullshit like this, and it just rubbed me the wrong way. Example: this week's Raw, Strowman attacked Reigns, so that's him looking strong. Next week they're going to have it where Roman Reigns is going to beat Strowman on Raw, so Roman Reigns gets his 50% of the deal. And it's like the number one contenders match for the tag titles on Raw. Why did that match need to take place? Why couldn't you just announce it's a triple threat instead of wasting my time? Like, Raw is garbage, and if you say otherwise, you're lying.
Oh, I don't think it's garbage. I'm just not interested.
This coming from the guys like, oh, well, Impact really wasn't that bad.
Yeah, but Impact was in a reboot, and there was fucking effort put in. There's a huge difference. Effort was put in.
Apparently, you did not watch the same show.
I will be the deciding.
I'll let you cast the tie-breaking vote on that. But speaking of that,
right. Please don't think I think the Impact was good. I don't think the show was good. I think that it was acceptable as a pilot, passable as a pilot, and I just feel that you were a bit too mean on the show. And this is coming from a guy who just bashed Raw. You were too mean. Like I was there. Like, I'm teaming up with my partner in crime, guy who doesn't lie for views. So, like, TNA's awesome. It was just such a good show. I fucking dude. The thing is, though, the best feeling about not having this is I don't have to worry about having a marketing department behind me. That's the freedom. I've said some pretty disgraceful shit, and I'm proud I haven't been kicked off the air yet.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. It's because I know, like, the talent's putting in a lot of effort on Raw, and so I never blame the talent. Ever. Very seldom do I blame the talent, because they are giving their fucking 100% all. And they're going to, okay, I need you to do this. And they're like, oh, well, I guess I'm doing this. But there's just some piss poor decision making going in.
Speaking of piss poor decision making, did you hear about the reasoning behind Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles?
I have not, but that's a good segue to go into SmackDown. So why don't you go ahead and tell us?
Because I looked at SmackDown, and they had like this little post-show thing, and they had, like, you know, JBL, and I think I forgot who else. They were basically playing like the corporate role, and then they had some outsider, and then Corey Graves.
Yeah, Peter Rosenthal. I think
okay, yeah, thank you, Peter Rosenthal. And I was kind of glad they had, you know, they had Corey Graves there to kind of back him up, so it's just not 2-on-1. But he was like, and he makes a good point. Well, AJ Styles does, you know, Shane McMahon does nothing for me. And I agree. I absolutely agree. I mean, it's like, oh, but Shane McMahon is one of the best characters the WWE has. And AJ Styles is probably the best wrestler WWE has. So why would you not put him in a match? And I'm like,
That's terrible reasoning.
There's been a lot of good characters. That, I mean, think of like character. I mean, like character.
But that's like saying this. That's like saying peanut butter is one of the best things that you can put on a sandwich, and spaghetti is one of the, or marinara sauce is one of the best things you can put on spaghetti. Why not put them together? It's a match made in heaven. That's a stupid reasoning.
Exactly. To me, here's what it is. They're trying to cover up the fact that it's okay. Shane McMahon wants to be on WrestleMania. They want to get on that spotlight. They want to get the biggest star they can get a hold of. So why not do it at the expense of AJ Styles? Because for me, it's a lose-lose situation. Okay, he beat Shane McMahon. So what? He beat a guy who's now taking up the Undertaker schedule, wrestling once a year.
Yeah.
If he loses, okay, you mean to tell me that you've been in the company for just over a year now. You've been WWE champion. You've had some amazing matches.
Arguably the best matches of the year for the company.
Yeah, for the company, and you lose to a guy who lost to the Undertaker last year.
No, that's not even that. You lose to a guy that's not a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. I still stand by the fact that if he came out next week and was like, doctors haven't cleared me, I can't wrestle, but you're gonna get a match, and then have it be Nakamura. If they do that, dude, I've no fucking complaint here. But they're not gonna, and they're not. And there's so many questions going into Mania still on both sides of things. Is Finn Balor gonna come back? Who is he gonna wrestle? No, they're probably gonna save him for the Monday after Raw, which to me is a waste. Who is AJ is getting wasted. Who's Braun Strowman gonna wrestle? Who's some of your other big names gonna wrestle? I don't know, man. It's not looking good. And the thing that's killing me the most about Mania is the Universal title. That is a fucking slap in the face to everyone else on that roster to me.
Yeah, and as much as I'm not a fan of Randy Orton, I would prefer him and Bray Wyatt to go on last because at least they're
damn well better because they keep saying main event.
Yeah, they've been going on, and you can say it all you want. You can say, oh, well, there's 3 main events. There's 4 main events. Like, no, the main event goes on last.
You know what? I can't remember who I did the Fastlane recap show for. I think I might have been with you. I can't remember how long ago Fastlane was because I just tried to block it out of my memory. About a month ago. And I remember being really pissed off, and I remember being hyperventilating, going really mad. And then I remember this week on Raw, it was like, okay, wait a minute. Brock Lesnar's a draw. Goldberg's a draw. The title match at Mania makes a draw. If you combine the 3, that's going to be big. Because I don't know what other alternatives you could have done with Goldberg. What could you have done?
You turned Goldberg and Lesnar into the new Undertaker matches. It's a complete waste to put 2 part-timers in like that. You have those guys turn into the new Undertaker spot because Undertaker's not got a lot left in him. Goldberg maybe has a couple years left in him, and then Brock Lesnar is a draw. I will give you that. But you have them become that match, and you know what I mean by that. They're putting a belt on either one of them is a fucking waste because people just physically want to see the belt. The thing about the last time Lesnar had the belt, people be like, oh, he's a heel, he's doing his job. No, the fucker just didn't want to work, so he wasn't there. That's the complete slap in the face to people like Ric Flair, who people just, it was a heel and was doing his job, but the fucker worked every goddamn night. This is a complete waste. You could have had Goldberg going.
I'm just seeing this as you got to sometimes take your hardcore wrestling fan hat off and picture you go up to your parents or one of your friends who ain't a wrestling fan and says, hey, look, what would you rather see? Owens versus Chris Jericho for the Universal title or Brock Lesnar and Bill Goldberg for the Universal title as your main event? They're all going to go Brock Lesnar Goldberg. I know both of them, both are badass monsters. And they can market this. Imagine if they get.
Well, why does it have to be the main event? Why you just can't just you can still advertise the match?
I'm okay with this match. I'm a problem with the belt being involved because it would have been a great high stakes match without it. If you go out to people and you're like, "Hey, do you want to see this match or that match?" I'd be like, "Oh, cool." They're not going to give a fuck about who has the belt.
Yeah,
you could have put the belt somewhere else.
Look at UFC. They could promote a big fight, but if they add it as a title fight, it just makes it a bigger draw.
I disagree. Look at the last Brock Lesnar UFC fight. That wasn't for a title, and they hyped the holy fucking shit out of that, and it was one of their best-selling pay-per-views, if I'm not mistaken. You don't need the belt.
UFC 200 against Mark Hunt?
Yeah, the last
There
one
was
where he got in a lot of
that
trouble.
show was stacked. That show was stacked with
Yeah, but
fucking
what did they promote
incredible.
the most out of it? They promoted that, and there wasn't a title involved. I'm
Yeah,
not
but
arguing
there
with you
was
that
the
it could
main
be a big
event
match
as well.
between the two. And it
That
could be a
was-
big event between the two, but it doesn't need the belt, and it doesn't need to be in the main event, because that, to me, is
It wasn't
just
right. UFC 200. The excuse of Brock and that don't count, because the UFC 200 had Daniel Cormier and John Jones. Okay, now that's John Jones is one of the biggest box office. Cormier is one of the biggest box office. He's fighting in a month's time against Johnson for the title, and he's main event in that 210 pay-per-view. Brock without the title, if that was Brock in a title match, different story. It'd have been his fault, his on him. But I generally believe that Brock and Goldberg, as much as it kills me inside, and that's taking someone's spot away, I understand that, and I generally feel your pain. But I said to myself, and I remember my mum asking me, "What's the main event for WrestleMania?" Because she watched the Mania, she sometimes watches the Rumble, and I said Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. First question, is it for the belt? I said yes. She went, "Oh, that's interesting." Boom. There you go.
I guarantee you, I could ask a lot of people the same thing, and I go, "Hey, this person's wrestling this person," and they'll go, and hell, even my roommates, he was like, "Hey, what's the main event?" And I went, this, or who's the big match? Taker versus Goldberg, or excuse me, Goldberg versus Lesnar.
But then if you go, why? Why are they fighting? Why are they fighting? Oh, because they've all both won one in the past. Like,
the match is going to be like a 20-second squash match, right?
And also, that adds the stock of the Universe title. If that's in the main event with these two big stars, it makes that title feel a bit more important. And all due respect to Kevin Owens, but I just feel that, and believe me, it hurts me to say it, but I think Goldberg versus Brock, after time to digest this, was a great choice to be for the heavyweight title, because they can make a lot of money.
Disagree with you on that.
All right,
It's
guys,
a terrible decision.
let me ask you a question here. Are you hyped up about the rumors for the possible main event at WrestleMania 34? Brock Lesnar versus Roman
I
Reigns?
sent you all that and that's one of the reasons I'm not, because that means that Lesnar has to keep the belt for a whole year. So somebody who to me is a complete disgrace to the wrestling and what he stands for in the wrestling community gets to have the belt for a year. And then the person who, God bless him, regardless of how you feel about the man, that person's going to get shat down our fucking face, Roman Reigns, and that he's going to go over, and that's going to be his transcendent moment. They've tried to have several of those, and they don't work. So I don't.
Do you reckon we'll be like WrestleMania 92? Reigns will be in a wheelchair, people will still be booing, and then he'll finally win. He'll win his 19th world title, and he's like, they've broken a record. He can barely stand or move, and he just defeated a 21-year-old guy in his prime. And then the crowd still boo. And then bless Vince for trying. Bless his cottons. He still thinks he's going to get Reigns.
He somehow thinks. Let's just hope that rumor is just that, and a rumor. Yeah. Because with the exception of a few matches, I am not excited about WrestleMania. Jericho Owens will be great. And even though it's a complete waste and a fucking spit in the face of AJ Styles will have a great match. Dude, I don't know if there's going to be any other matches that are just going to be phenomenal. Austin Aries might be good.
That would be a good one. But back to the SmackDown, I didn't really touch on it. I feel that at the end with Shane, where he says, let me get my notes up. He said something along those lines of, AJ, you don't have a WrestleMania opponent, but you do now. That does not mean everyone's jumping to the conclusion.
That's true. That's true, and that's where my theory comes back in, that again, like, you have a match now, but he never said it was against me. That's where my theory still has a little bit of water to float on, but we'll see. We'll see. But I think Corbin Ambrose might be okay, depending on what they do. Honestly, they've done a better job promoting Austin Aries in the last couple months than they did his entire time on NXT.
Yeah,
I'm actually pretty excited about that.
I really enjoyed the 5-way on 205 Live. I generally thought that was really good.
It was good. My homeboy Jack Gallagher's not in it, which is heartbreaking. But I have a feeling there might be
his match on 205 Live. His match. What they need to do is, everyone who's not in this cruiserweight title match, the stars, they should put them in an 8-man ladder match to kick off maybe the pre-show. Have them go out there and just go balls to the wall, because then when people watch that. People watch, they go, oh, this is awesome. Like, how do I watch this regularly? Oh,
you watch it 205 Live.
#205 how do I watch that? It's on the network. I'm already got this network. Oh, this network is good, pretty cool, actually, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
the best way to do it. And I was having, honestly, the exact same idea. We'll see. Let's, the battle royal will be what it is. It's the battle royal. What's up? What else we got on the card for Mania?
Actually, let me look up. Oh, let's see. I wish you'd have told me that. I could have looked up the card a little bit earlier, but
no, that's cool. I'll talk away. And some other news, then we'll divert from Mania, and we might swing back there in a little bit. For those of you that are living under a rock, if you're a wrestling fan, I believe either yesterday or today launched the first day of Lucha Underground seasons 1 and 2 being on Netflix.
Woohoo.
And I can guarantee you, I'm gonna go power through all of them again because it's the best wrestling on TV. And it's God. I finally got my Pentagon Jr. shirt in, so I'm gonna rock Pentagon Jr. because it's gonna be fucking just. I'm so excited. I've come to the conclusion with some other wrestling promotions, like I'll watch as much as I can. I'm not gonna watch Ring of Honor television because there's no reason. I may catch some of the Ring of Honor pay-per-views, but I think I'm just going to start buying Ring of Honor DVDs and watching the people that I want to watch. Because Dalton Castle just had his DVD come out, so I think I'm going to watch that. A couple other people. I am really excited, way more than I thought I would be. I was really excited about Christopher Daniels winning the ROH title.
Match, by the way.
So what?
Did you manage to see that match, by the way?
I have not. That's 14th anniversary, correct?
15th anniversary. But
15th
yes,
anniversary. I have not watched the show. I plan on trying to do it soon. I'm going to be spending a lot of time in a hotel room for the next couple of weeks, and I'm going to try and buy a laptop or get a cheap laptop sometime soon just to be able to watch some of this stuff.
Yeah, but the 15th anniversary is actually not that bad. I haven't done a review on it or anything, but I would say that it's worth a look. You've got the main event was actually really good. This has been all over the internet, but Christopher Daniels finally captures the Ring of Honor World Championship after 15 years. He was one of the originals with Ring of Honor. I think it was a great move. Not only was there a double cross, but there was a double cross there at the pay-per-view, which is actually pretty cool. The Hardys, Roppongi Vice, and the Young Bucks, they tore it up in a three-way.
Oh, I'm halfway through the show. I'm at that match. That's quite funny how I rejoined it. Is at that point, yeah. I'll take my headphones off. You can carry on.
No. We're not going to talk about it because I haven't seen it yet either.
Yeah, I'm not spoiling.
Okay, cool.
So I was talking about how happy I was, even though I haven't seen the show. I was really excited that Christopher Daniels won.
There was one.
I knew he won anyway.
There was one spot, there was one thing in there, and you can tell there was a huge it wasn't a botch, it was just a bad fucking accident. Fucking TK O'Ryan broke his fucking leg live on fucking pay-per-view.
Oh, shit.
Like, it was for the 6-man championships. It was the Kingdom versus Dalton Castle and the Boys. After that accident, he did, TK O'Ryan did like a Asahi moonsault to the outside. Both his shins hit the security rail on the way down.
Ooh.
And as soon as that happened, he grabbed his legs, and then there was like not even 10 seconds, and everybody's like, "Oh shit, he's really fucking hurt." So they immediately went to the fucking end. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one of the boys was selling the effect to the finish, but everybody went right back to the fucking outside. Got around TK O'Ryan. They actually picked him up, carried him to the back, and the update on that is that. According to his Twitter account, doctors had to set his leg, and he's gonna have to have surgery on it.
Damn. Oh. Yeah, I'll give that a watch. And anytime, and unfortunately, me and LK have been guilty this past. Anytime a performer is injured, especially live on air, our condolences go out there. These guys, despite we want to shit on them, these guys are putting their lives literally putting their lives and their body on the line for our entertainment every single night.
Yeah, I actually thought about, what could they do? And if it was me, and knowing what I know about pro wrestling, here's what I would do. I would immediately have like Kerry Silkin or somebody come out and be like, okay, there was an accident. TK Orion broke his leg. He's going to have surgery. He's going to be out for a few weeks. Kingdom, unfortunately, it was a bad break here, but you're not going to be able to defend your championship. So here's what you can do. You can either
Thanks for the spoiler.
Well, no. This is what I would do. They haven't said anything yet, one way or the other.
You just said they got to defend their championships.
Well, no. I'm just saying if I was a man, if I was like a person in charge.
He's saying if he was booking it.
Yeah, if I was booking it. So this is not spoilers. So but you can't defend it in the proper amount of time. So here's what you can do. You can either forfeit the championships, and then I promise you, as soon as TK is healed up, you three will get your rematch anytime you want it for the championships. Or 2, you can opt to find another partner to fill his spot. And I would have them go, okay, well, this is new. Can you at least just give us a week? We're going to go talk with TK. We're going to see what he wants to do because we want to make this a group decision. And of course, they'll do that. And then what I would do is like, okay, we talked it over with TK, and we've opted to. We're going to find another partner. Like, who's the partner going to be? It's like, well, we got to get some paperwork signed to make it all legal. But we'll tell you next week. Because the reason I'm trying to drag this out is because you're going to need some time. I would have Mike Bennett come back. That's how I'd bring him back. Because he was part of the old Kingdom. Why not? And now he's gone from Impact Wrestling, and all sources are pretty much all signs are pointing that him and Maria are going to go back to Ring of Honor. So I think that's how I'd bring him back. So boom, there you go.
Yeah, maybe you never know. You never know. It's because I don't want to know who won that match because I haven't seen it yet, and that's why I was like, hey, don't be a spoiler because I didn't know if they, I just haven't seen it yet.
Oh no, I'm not. I think that's all completely hypothetical.
Okay, well, our thoughts and our condolences go out. You never want to see anybody get hurt. That's how these motherfuckers make money. So let's hope he gets healed. I've truthfully been slacking on my non-WWE wrestling here lately because I am so busy. I'm trying to essentially
I've actually excelled at it. I've actually watched more non-WWE stuff than I have WWE because it was like, think about it. You can watch Lucha Underground on Netflix. You can watch Ring of Honor. You watch the 15th anniversary. You can either go to their website or you can find it via internet magic. I've got a subscription to New Japan World, so I've been watching the New Japan Cup, which has actually not been it's not been the best, but the second night was the best.
I'm actually in the process of canceling my New Japan World because I just don't watch it enough. I don't. I'll just keep track of. I know. I'm trying to run 2 stores essentially, but I am going to have a lot of free time sitting in this hotel room because they're going to put me up in a hotel room so I can find my own place. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to have a lot of free time, and I'm going to spend a lot of that free time just catching up on shit I haven't found.
Have you always checked out the New Japan Cup?
No, I have not.
You okay? Well, okay, just drop there.
Yeah, he's dropping us. He's having some issues tonight.
Yeah. Just for the sake of the show here. The New Japan Cup, it hasn't been the best, but the second night was the best. But looking at it now, the semifinals are almost done. I'm not going to spoil it too much here. The first night, I'm just going to say it. The first night was not good. The first night was.
And I like that you say that because there's this mentality amongst a lot of online wrestling guys that if it's New Japan, it's good no matter what. Period. End of story. It's good, and that's not always the case.
Yeah, and this is not going to be too much spoilers. The first night you had, and I think they took some chances and it didn't pay off. Like one of the first round matches was Yuji Nagata filling in for Hama, also taking on Tango Roa. One half of the Gorillas of Destiny. That match was horrible.
Well, I'm not the biggest fan of the Gorillas of Destiny.
But Tangaroa, man, it was just a horrible match. And I'm like, Nagata was trying to get him through that match. It was just like little bitty things. He's more of a tag team guy, and I think maybe they were trying to get him in there to kind of give him some singles experience. And if that's the case, you shouldn't have done that with the New Japan Cup. you don't want to put them in a tournament like this. I mean, you can put them in one-on-one matches, but
I mean, the Bullet Club is not doing good right now. My hope is, because I've got some spoilers, some of the stuff coming out of the Japan Cup or the New Japan Cup. My hope is that, and my idea is that Cody Rhodes is going to kind of step up to be one of the new leaders of the Bullet Club.
Well, I mean, right now he's considered a part-timer with New Japan.
Yeah.
So
I mean, but you could still have, essentially kicking Adam Cole out, and you could have Cody be like the new leader you can have an Eastern leader and a Western leader, and have Omega be your Western guy, and have have Cody be your American guy.
I think and there were some other couple matches, Tariano and Tamatanga, Michael Elgin and Bad Luck Fale, which actually wasn't too bad for a Big Hoss match. But the one that saved night one was Evil versus Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Was that good?
It was actually pretty good, and
Tanahashi's just good. Like, despite what people want to say, he's really fucking good.
But they did something interesting here, and I hope you're not going to be mad at me, because I'm gonna spoil this for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever.
But Evil scored the win.
Oh, okay.
And but here's the thing: I think they're going to do a different storyline with Tanahashi, where maybe he turns heel. Because
I kind of saw that, just the way some of the clips I saw and the way he was moving. Is unlike him, because he's kind of in the twilight of his career, so it'd be a good story to tell where, he was on top of the world and he's going down, and he's losing, he's going down, and finally he's like, you know what, I can't be the ace anymore. I've got to be like the black ace or something else delightfully Japanese.
Now the second night was a lot better. I mean, the second night was like night and day about how good. Like, just picture like everything that was so bad about the first night, the exact opposite happened. It was like the best. Like, it's been the best night. You had Shibata Suzuki, you had Juice Robinson and Yujiro Takahashi. By the way, Sammy, if you watch that match, do not let your son in the room when.
Anytime that he comes out, I just assume that he doesn't need to be around.
No, he does not. They bring back the Japanese leather bunny girl. Yes, you heard that. That sentence was uttered here on the rope break.
Well, that's odd.
Yeah, Sonata had a hell of a match with and Yoshihashi. They had a great
How was
match.
Ishii versus Omega?
Tomohiro Ishii he was like the Middle Tennessee of this tournament. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, he busted my bracket.
Dude, I love Ishii.
It was a really good match. I recommend everyone watch it.
It was a great match. I'm not gonna lie. It was one of the best. It was on par for the course with Kenny Omega and Ishii. Definitely, nothing. Not trying to take away anything from him. They did an amazing job together. But I thought what I thought New Japan was going to do was I thought that they were going to have Kenny Omega win the New Japan Cup, and then he was going to get his rematch with Okada. He was going to win it, and then he was going to go into the U.S. as the IWGP champion. But no, they gave Ishii the win, and so I don't know what the hell's going to happen now. I guess maybe that was the point. Everybody was thinking, okay, it's going to be Omega. It's going to be Omega. Okay, Omega's been eliminated first round. Who the fuck is it going to be?
That's probably why they did it. And the thing is, though, if Ishii does win, talk about that with SOS on I've recapped every New Japan Cup one, so I think it was on the Sunday or a Monday. We're talking about how Ishii actually defeated Okada in the G1 last year, so he was technically owed an IWGP World Title match, which he didn't receive. So if Ishii does win, you can get Ishii versus Okada in the rematch that's never meant to happen. And then you could have Omega get the title shot at the G1 special in America. So you could have, possibly witness Kenny Omega win the IWGP World title at the actual American building.
I think New Japan is smart enough to where they might finally release. Again, despite all the praise they get, they don't do everything right. And it seems like I want to shit on New Japan. No, I love New Japan. I think they put out one of the best products out there, but they're not incapable of fault.
They're doing round, I think they're almost completely done with round 2. They've got 3 of the 4 slots for the semifinals filled out. You got 1 more to go. But all the ones from round 2 That's been at like house shows. Like when I say house shows, I mean like in a fucking gym in Japan with a hard camera shot. Like one camera, it's stationary, does not move. That's what I'm talking about.
And it is just one match as well. So we've been recapping the quarters as well, and we've just literally done the one match, and then we just went to Q&A for like 35 to 50 minutes. Like it's generally just one match. So I found that a lot easier to follow because the G1's gonna drain the shit out of me. Whereas the New Japan Cup, it's kind of like, yeah, you have 4 nights of real long wrestling, but the other 5 are just kind of relaxing. You just have to watch one match a day, and then you can just go and shoot the breeze. So for anyone watching the New Japan Cup, especially if you have the weekends off, I recommend get New Japan World, and then you can just watch the Monday to Friday matches when you're on your lunch break at work or when you get home, because it's literally just 20 minutes. And Juice Robinson and Shibata have had a pretty good match today. I think it was yesterday now. But I recommend you to check that out. But the Triple F versus Yano match was a fucking disgrace. So
what
bad.
versus Yano?
Sorry, I call Bad Luck Fale Triple F. That stands for Fat Fuck Fale. And I really, really don't like him. And he had a real bad match with Yano. Like Yano did his comedy spots. It was so bad. Like watching him get up is painful enough. Watching him run is even just excruciating to watch.
I was wondering, I was like, who the fuck is he talking about?
Bad Luck Fale. And there's some more New Japan news, and this is some more stuff I can go on. But Cody Hall, I think he's done with New Japan. Reports are coming out of 411mania.com that he's actually signed with Pro Wrestling Noah.
Oh, okay. He's wanting to get away from. I mean, I guess that's smart.
I honestly think it's a good move because he needs to be his own man right now because he was just all he was he was Scott Hall's son. He was a young boy in the Bullet Club. Now he's on his own. Let's see what he can do on his own, and let's just maybe I think this will benefit him. And I think if he wants to go back to New Japan, I think the door will be open, and plus he's going to get a lot of one-on-one valuable experience.
Agreed. He was there. What he was the flag carrier. That's all he did. He used to bring the fucking flag to the ring. Fucking waste of time. He's better off in Noah.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of people leaving, Lio Rush is apparently given notice to Ring of Honor. He's going to be headed to Evolve, which, by the way, that's coming up shortly.
That's fucking. I didn't know that. That's fucking horrible. Ring of Honor's losing everyone. I feel so bad for them. But then if they're too ignorant to not push new stars, then those new stars are too ignorant to leave.
I mean, look at who all they've lost. I mean, they lost Cedric Alexander, they lost Donovan Dijak, they lost ACH. You beat me on that one. Yeah, I mean, it's just
like if that was any other promotion, like Mike Bennett, like if that was any other promotion, they would be world champions. But because they're not. I don't know. They're just weird. They don't like pushing anyone anymore. I don't understand it. It's really confusing.
I missed that part because I was talking to somebody on the phone. One of my employees. Who doesn't like pushing people?
Ring of Honor.
Yeah, and Ring of Honor, dude. I've almost given up on Ring of Honor. They are really in a big slump right now. They have some fantastic wrestling that takes place. Absolutely breathtaking stuff. But as a product, it's really fucking just not worth watching. You've got the Briscoes, and you got my boy Dalton Castle, who is one of my favorites, but could be one of the best if they would let him. But for some reason, they refuse to let him do shit. It's somebody who I could genuinely think could have a great run with their television title or their world title. But they're like, oh, you have a character? Well, you can't work. Because we're the indies and we don't have characters. It feels like that sometimes. I'm not saying that's how it is. It just feels like that way sometimes. And Ring of Honor's got to do something soon, man. Like, this deal with New Japan isn't helping them at all. This deal with CMML. Poor CMMLL doesn't get shit out of this. Even though when me and LK were watching their product every week, dude, they put on a pretty fucking fun show. And they are getting plenty of crowds in Mexico, so I don't think they're hurting. Mm-hmm. But you see Dragon Lee in maybe a Ring of Honor match or a New Japan match, but
that's exposing. Sorry to cut off there. That's exposing the because if they watch Dragon Lee match, go, oh, that's fucking awesome. Oh, he's from CMLL. What, they then type in CMLL on YouTube and they get stuff out of it.
No, I agree. I'm just, it's not to the extent that like New Japan is getting in, and that's what I'm saying. Like they're getting the shit in its stick in that regard. Something's got to give, man. Like there needs to be like a federation of all the indies that come together, or because the Flow Slam, from what I've been reading, isn't doing quite as well as they want it to.
I unsubbed. I unsubbed.
They need to get some more content on there.
Like I was paying $17 for Evolve, literally.
Yeah, because there's nothing else watching on there.
Well, there's IPW. It's just I don't like the stream. Like it's a really weird stream. Like the live stream's good, but post live, which is when I want to watch it, the stream goes from like auto quality, and it doesn't have an auto quality button. So unless you're running on HQ, sometimes it fucks up, and I just don't really like it. And nothing against it, I just found I wasn't using it, because if I want to watch indie wrestling or if I want to watch non-WWE wrestling, I'll watch New Japan, Impact, Ring of Honor, CMLL.
Yeah, and CMLL and Lucha Elite both put their shit on YouTube for free.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're not pirating anything, and they proudly put it out there, and it's fucking entertaining. Christico, is that his name? Dude, I love that guy.
Yeah, Caristico. That guy's fucking awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Lucha. I'm looking forward to Lucha Elite coming back. I think it's coming back. I'm not really sure.
I need to double check. I haven't really checked anything in a while, and it's one of those you can just watch it whenever you want. Like there's no real story in between each one. It's just Lucha guys going out there and fighting, and it's fun.
There might be. We just don't fucking realize.
That's true. There could be some crazy fucking soap opera shit going on, but my English or my Spanish ends and begins with like tacos and burritos, and that's what I got.
Boom Boom's all right, or is he?
Oh, I'm great. I'm great.
Any other topics we haven't really touched on yet?
There is one I really wanted to talk here because I knew, and I saved this for last because I knew this was going to be a top one here. But kind of going back to where we started with Impact, I think like the biggest thing going on at Impact right now is the real life legal drama between Impact Wrestling and the Hardys.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about,
I got a phone call, guys. I'll be right back. I apologize.
Okay. While Sammy takes that phone call, I'll get LK's thoughts on this. Of course, the Hardys, they can't come to an agreement with Impact Wrestling, so they're going to go elsewhere. Fine, legally, they can do that. They pop up, Ring of Honor. And TNA basically puts out a statement going, well, the seven deities are, will stay here, and we wish the Hardys the blood. Basically, it was their way of saying they can't do that. We're not going to let them do the Broken Hardys gimmick. And so on the day of the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, the 15th anniversary, they sent all these basically cease and desist letters out. Like they actually got Dish Network to not carry that pay-per-view, because they were so worried about getting sued. And
Are you kidding me?
No. Dish is the only company who bit and said, okay, no, we're not going to offer this pay-per-view, this Ring of Honor pay-per-view, because they were so worried about Impact legally getting involved with this.
That's fucking dirty.
They sent the Hardys a cease and desist order to not do that. And when they did, and I'm not spoiling anything, but when they did the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, they came out as the Hardys. They had pretty much virtually the exact same looks, but they really didn't do any of the mannerisms of the Broken Hardys. But it gets better. It gets better, sir. Come to think of, and when you come to like Dave Lagana, some other guys with TNA at the time, Impact Wrestling now, what happened was, now they basically pitched the idea to Matt Hardy. It's like, hey, why don't you just go dark? And, all they said was, why don't you go dark and be obsessed with being your brother? And then Matt Hardy takes it and he runs with it. He develops the Broken Matt Hardy gimmick. He does all this stuff. The rest is history. What can I say? If you've been following TNA, now Impact, what's happened. he molded that character and everything. And then TNA, or excuse me, Impact now. Sorry, they've been like TNA for like 15 fucking years. I'm sorry. Okay. Impact, with, I think what people are saying, what we're speculating is that Impact is basically, they're not going to give the broken gimmick to like any other talents. What they're trying to do is they're trying to angle to where they can get a percentage of royalties off of the Hardys for this. And let me tell you something, when all this shit went down, and it gets even better, okay? Reby Sky,
oh yeah, I've seen
Matt's wife, went the fuck off on Twitter. Reby, okay, I'm going to try to catch up Sammy real quick. Basically, Impact held the Hardys gimmick hostage.
Mm-hmm.
They sent a cease and desist order. They sent it out to pay-per-view companies, because the Hardys were appearing on Ring of Honor, and got Dish Network. Dish Network actually pulled the pay-per-view from offering it from its customers because of this lawsuit. Basically, they're angling to where they can get a percentage of this broken Hardys gimmick. They get percentage of the royalties for using that. Even though they kind of pitched the idea of Matt going dark, Matt's the one who took it and ran with it. It came up with everything. Anyway, Reby Sky, Matt's wife, went the fuck off and just went nuclear on Twitter, was like, fuck this company. It's like, you know what? My husband could have went anywhere else, even though he didn't have a contract saying he couldn't go anywhere else. He stayed with it. He waited to the day he left the day after I gave birth to go make your TV tapings. That shows how dedicated he is. He developed and came up with this whole Broken Hardys thing. And I think the thing that really set her over the edge is it turns out Senor Benjamin, that's Reby's dad.
Oh.
And he did all this stuff, like all this shit. He never got paid for it, not once.
Wow.
Like appearances, everything that he ever did, he never got dime one off of. And then, you have Impact trying to basically, come in the back door and get, Jesus Christ, they fucking went all. This was a fucking shitty situation.
Shame on them, because they're trying to do this reboot. Now they look like a fucking scummy company. That's like Kane leaving WWE and going to Impact. He can still be Kane. Of course, he fucking earned that. Like, imagine if the Hardys didn't do what they did, and they didn't go to Impact, and you didn't get the final deletion. Like, would they even be still around right now?
Because that was another thing that Reby argued is like, the final deletion was like some of the highest rated shows that you had.
They've had this shit. It is the highest rated show they've had since being on Pop. And what a big fuck you. And now if I'm an employee working there, I'm thinking, oh, wait, are these guys going to take 10% if I leave? Like, what the fuck? Like, that's not sending good. That's just dirty as well. Especially when you're trying to rebrand your organization to do a scummy move like that. To a team like the Hardys who have a fucking huge following, that's a bad fucking idea, because now you've got a pissed off Hardys on your hand who's going to talk shit about them, and they're going to lose potential viewers if they're like, oh, I watched for the Hardys, now they're not on, but I don't really give a shit anymore. It's a bad move from a dirty company. I feel bad for putting them over earlier on. That is disgraceful.
It's very shitty, and yeah, they're gonna. I don't know what becomes of this. It depends on what the paper trail says about the gimmick.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we don't really know the situation fully. Like, we know what Reby, whatever the fuck her name is, says on Twitter. We don't really know the ins and outs of it. In paper, we don't know.
An intellectual property, we have no idea, and that's just where the lawyer.
I think now here's where it gets murky. And I have to go. I'm having to go way back in my mind here, because I remember I had to take classes. For me to graduate, I had to pass mass media law. I had to do like a section in my public relations class on copyrights, and it gets really murky because, okay, if you let's just say Sammy has a song, he writes a song, it's a really good song. And I have a company, and I'm like, hey, I want to make a commercial about my product, but I want to use Sammy's song, even though Sammy wrote it. And I can go, hey, can I use your song? I'll give you money. And he's like, okay, I agree to that. Then boom, we're fine. I can use this song. Or if I've got a company and I've got a product here and I want to make a commercial and I go, Sammy, will you write me a song for this commercial here? He goes, okay, and I give him money. Then again, that's fine. Now, if he comes up with a song and I just take it, then that's illegal. But here's where it gets murky. Impact can maybe argue, and I don't know how far this would get in court because I don't know what contracts are. I don't know who did what. The thing part where I think it would get murky in court is when Dave Lagana and all these other people argue, well, we came up with the idea of Matt Hardy going dark. And of course, artists are going to say, well, yeah, but we're the ones who took this idea. We came up with this spin on it. We came up with the characters, the everything. And then the argument would be, well, who shot it? Whose equipment? Because if I work for a company, and if I do something on company time with company equipment, that's property of the company. I think that's where and like I said, I don't know who used whose cameras or staff or who paid who. I think that's where it gets more.
Yeah, and if they do want to be dicks about it, they could very easily repackage it as shattered Matt Hardy or damaged Matt Hardy, and just not use the broken Matt Hardy thing. Because you can't trademark someone's legal name. I don't fucking know. We'll just have to see where this goes. But either way,
no, you can't legally That's why a lot of people use their real names. I mean, the same thing's happened with Cody Rhodes. I mean, this is no different than that. I think WWE's doing really shitty because, Dusty Rhodes was Dusty Rhodes before he was in WWE.
Yeah.
And then now they're going to, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. But they're doing it right now with Cody Rhodes. That's why he's just going as Cody.
They did it with Shelton Benjamin as well. He has to be Shelton X Benjamin.
Mm-hmm.
New Japan. Why the wrestling organization have to be so scummy when the wrestlers are risking their lives for them?
Money, dude.
Yeah, but
at the end of the day,
what are Impact going to get from it? Literally. What was that?
That's all it is. Protecting what's yours and money. I don't agree with it, but that's what you got, bro. Fuck. That yawn might be our cue to start wrapping this bad boy up.
Yeah, I just think it's a really I was just blown away because I didn't know that Senior Benjamin was Reby's dad.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty. The whole thing's pretty fucking shitty.
Yeah, but by the way, to get revenge, Reby put up a shirt on shopmatthardy.com. It's the Impact logo, but instead of saying Impact Wrestling, it just says "fuck that owl."
That's actually pretty funny.
That is good.
All right, guys, y'all ready to wrap this up?
Let's fucking wrap this back.
Y'all want to do some
and let us know how we did on this inaugural episode of The Rope Break. And if you hate the name, it was all Boom's idea.
But if you loved it, it was all my idea.
Either or. Just don't give Boom's credit.
All right, y'all want to take some questions from the peanut gallery here?
Let's see if we have any.
Oh, we got a few here. The Dude Man wants me to tell LK he's the Yoshitatsu of Loudmouth Wrestling.
Is that a compliment or a derogatory term?
But right, basically every single show, Dude Man's always in the comments, and he always says I'm a certain wrestler of Loudmouth Wrestling. So I'm Yoshitatsu today. Like two hours ago, who was I? I think I wasn't Yoshi. I think I was the Fale of Loudmouth Wrestling. So I went on a Fale rant. So I'm Yoshitatsu now. So I transformed from Triple F to Yoshitatsu.
Yeah, by the way, if y'all watching CMLL, how's Tatsu doing now?
I haven't watched it in a while.
Oh no, yeah, we watched it November-ish, December-ish. I haven't really watched it since then.
Okay, I was just seeing because I know he was moving over. He was one of the talents that was getting sent over to Mexico. Rick 1982, will WrestleMania 33 be better or worse than WrestleMania 32? Which matches from WrestleMania 33 will be best and worst match of the night? Ooh, okay. Well, let's take a look at the card they've got so far. I think it'll be better than 32, but that's because a lot of their guys were injured this time last year. I think it was either List who wasn't hurt. But I'm just going to run down the card briefly here. We're going to have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Right now, Mojo Rawley, Apollo Crews, and Big Show are the only announced contenders this year.
I assume Big Show is going to win again.
We're going to have Neville versus Austin Aries for the Cruiserweight Championship.
That could be really good.
Alexa Bliss versus the entire SmackDown roster. I think they're bringing back Tamina in that one.
Yay. I hope my girl Alexa Bliss wins it because I've been still incredibly impressed with her.
I honestly think if she's healthy, I think Naomi wins it.
I hope not. What a fucking disaster that was.
Then we're going to have the Raw Tag Team Championship match here. We're going to have Gallows and Anderson defending against Enzo and Big Cass and Cesaro and Sheamus. Then we're going to have a mixed tag match.
That tells you everything you need to know about that match. Like, that's how much we care. I literally don't have an opinion.
No.
John Cena and Nikki Bella versus Miz and Maurice.
That could be fun, but I'm not excited.
Cena's going to propose to her.
You think so?
Probably.
Don't care one way or the other. I don't like. I'm not a fan of either Cena or Bella, but even I don't even want to meddle in their personal lives.
Yeah.
AJ Styles, it's looking like right now it's penciled in AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon. It looks like it's going to be a gimmick match.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens for the United States Championship. Taker versus Reigns. Bayley versus Charlotte versus Sasha in a three-way for the Raw Women's Championship. Can we get that? Instead of can that match be like a shower room match? I'm sorry. I've got it. Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton, and then Goldberg versus Lesnar. I think just by looking at it, I think the best out of all that, I think Jericho Owens will steal the show.
Yeah, that's my early theory.
Yeah, same. I'm the same.
All right. Let's see. I'm just looking for questions here. Thank you, Dude Man and Rick 1982. Comments. Yeah, it was all just pretty much comments from there. So let's just go ahead and wrap this thing up. I want to thank LK for joining us. LK, tell everybody where you're at now and how they can watch you.
You can follow me on Twitter at LM_wrestling. That stands for Loudmouth Wrestling for intelligent folks or unintelligent folks out there. YouTube, you literally just type in Loudmouth Wrestling, will come up, and then you can subscribe to that. I do a news show once a day, and I do a review of a New Japan, Ring of Honor, whatever show is in there that I actually want to watch, that I physically want to watch, and then I'll review that up on there. And then I also have Loudmouth Wrestling Extra, which is a premium subscription service, which is either £2.50 per month or £15 per year, which is a popular option at the minute because you save £15 a year, because it'll be £30 a year if you use £2.50 every month, or you use £15 just for the whole year straight up. Boom, and it's all done. Review W on there. I've done this week on the Loudmouth Extra. I've done 205 Live, Raw, SmackDown, and a Talk and Live show already. Tomorrow I'll be doing NXT, a main event, so skedaddle on over there as well. But Loudmouth Wrestling, if you just want the free New Japan content and Ring of Honor content, so just type it in. And I'm really happy with where we are. The numbers have been growing greatly, and New Japan has a market, and I'm happy about that. New Japan has a great market, and I'm satisfied.
Tomorrow is actually St. Patrick's Day, so you know how I think LK is going to celebrate St. Patrick's Day? I think he's going to get some 3-leaf clovers, some Lucky Charms, and some potatoes. He's going to put it in a big old box. He's going to have it shipped to Barbados.
No, but
English tea, and then listen to the funeral march of Queen Mary.
No, it's Friday, and every Friday, the co-host of Loudmouth MMA, we come on for we talk life. So it's generally we don't talk about sport, we don't talk about anything, we just do talking life, and I always have a beer. So I will be having an alcoholic beverage tomorrow night on the channel, and that's a free show. That's on the YouTube as well, so check that out.
You don't got to lie to us. You've got to go knit socks to give to the alms to the poor of London. We know, man. We know how you do over there in England. Riding your buggy and carriage to get there. Make sure that you go ahead and pay the tax to the East India Trading Company so that they don't undercut you this time.
Yes, as his top hat and his cloak.
Dude, if that shit was in style, I would go everywhere wearing a top hat and cloak.
Oh, but thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for having me here, as always.
All right, and Sammy, tell everybody where they can find you and well, how long you're going to be on the shelf because you got to move to Lee County?
Yeah, I've got to move about 2 hours away from my current house. So bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, while I am in this fucking tumultuous time. We will see. You can, of course, find me at Twitter at Sammy Sinister. Admittingly, I never check that shit. So if you hound me about checking it, I will get on it more. But I am literally never fucking on that thing. I'm barely on the internet anymore because I'm just so goddamn busy. Of course, you can check us out at KocoSports, or the best way to get in contact with me is usually on the YouTube.
Of course, you can always find us at KocoSports.com, KOCOSports.com. It's your home for combat sports, where the world goes to kick ass, and most importantly, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. You know, also be sure to like, subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Coco probably going to be coming back in a matter of days now.
Let's hope so. He's been saying that for fucking 6 months.
Oh, I know. I know. But I think he's about to get his intranets up and running. And so hopefully he'll be back to doing shows. We get back to doing normal reviews. This is just something we're going to kind of do in the meantime. And if you want to hop on here, you think you got what it's take to be a reviewer, just hit me up. I'll run through you all the stipulations and stuff. So want to thank you.
And if you're feeling real sexy, we're just going to get it real down low here. Just cuddle down here on the floor. What you're going to do is I'll get you feeling. You like KocoSports? Go ahead and tell us that you like it. Give us that like, comment, and subscribe. Go ahead and pull out that there 1983 memorabilia Jake the Snake plastic lunchbox with matching thermos. Go ahead and take out that thermos. You know you want to. Get a good old rub. Take it. Go ahead and open it up. You know you're thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. You're thinking about it. You're thinking about me thinking about you thinking about it. Go ahead. Dip your testicles right on in there. Yeah, just swoosh them around in that little half cup left of warm milk you had from lunch, and just feel real good about yourself.
Be there. All right, this is Boom Boom Vesta Coco Crew saying the boom just went bang, and I am out.